The topics we discuss are many, no story too bold to talk about. Strictly our own opinions, but they are opinions from people like you. Welcome to the Naked Podcast.
So the question, babe, how does it feel to know that you'll probably have a 1X before Marco does?
Womp womp.
I'm sorry, Marco. That was just an easy burn up. My bad.
You know what? I was cold anyway. I needed that.
Do you need a vest? They're very tactical.
No, that burn was good enough for me.
I'm just excited to have something newer than a 64, so.
That's nice. I found like these old PS2 games while I was moving my stuff around, and I'm thinking to myself,
Where is your PlayStation?
It's in my closet. I don't want to plug it in. I'm just too afraid that's not going to work, and I'm just going to leave it there like maybe one day.
I gave my PS2 to a good friend of mine back in the day, like a long time ago, but all she had was the N64, and I was like, dude, do you want my PS4? But my PS2, I barely use it.
That's like when I got my PS2, I sold my PS1, and then I had the little round one.
The PS1 Slim?
Yeah, and then when I went to rebuy a PS1 to complete the collection of PlayStations, I bought like an original. I said, no, I'm not getting a Slim.
My cousin's PS1 Slim, and I remember the main game I used to play there was Metal Slug. And the only reason I loved it, it was a 2D scroller game. It was a shoot 'em all up. Basically, you're this soldier fighting Nazi bad guys, and the main character's name was Marco. And it was just like that cherry on
Meant
top,
to be, right?
Yes, because I love the game anyway. But fucking like the main character's Marco. Like I'm a fucking badass. Marco wins. Like shit. Hell yeah, he does.
So what makes the Xbox Series X so special?
So the Xbox Series X is special in its own way because it's going to be the first console to not have dedicated titles at launch. So it's not just going to be like console-only exclusives like Halo when the original Xbox was released.
Or Gears of War when the 360 was released, or Sea of Thieves when the Xbox One was released.
Or like back in the day, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. Those were PlayStation. You can only play them on PlayStation 1, and then when the new ones came out, you could only play them on the PlayStation 2. There was no backwards compatibility until later. The Xbox Series X, it won't have title exclusive games. You'll be able to play them on your Xbox One S, on your Xbox One X, on your PC.
So, I mean, just from everything I've been reading and understanding, it sounds like they're trying to go to the direction of how Google Stadia is set up.
Yes.
But they're an at-home version of it.
Yeah.
And if they go like that, that'd be awesome. I would love that.
I'm all on board for that. Like home virtualization, totally on board. And if you have a PC, I think that you can like use your PC settings if they're stronger, but it's definitely a Stadia killer. And it's already proving to be.
I mean, it doesn't need to be a Stadia killer. Stadia really killed itself.
Yeah,
it
like
just fell off.
Seppuku or whatever it is.
Seppuku.
Yeah, they should have never done a reveal or anything. They should have just presented
Released.
it when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been such a big hit.
It would have been cool as an E3 presentation.
Yeah, no, like
No.
you
No,
planned.
why not?
No. If you did a demo, so you planned your launch, or you had it all ready to launch, right? A final product. E3, 2 weeks later, you launch.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
Did
gameplay,
need
you
one?
show everything, all at E3.
But if they did a announcement at E3, but they don't release it for another year, they basically killed themselves because everyone's like, "Oh, this isn't going to be out for another year. Why are we interested now?"
Exactly.
Google Stadia could have been a great product if only they had actually dedicated time to it, like Microsoft did with the Xbox Series X. But other companies are deciding to put more faith in facial recognition. There was a high school graduation that was happening in Texas City over, is that Southeast Texas? Over in Houston area, Galveston area. There was this guy who walked through the gates. He had a ticket, he had everything, but they had facial recognition software at the gates, and they saw him come in, and they were able to tell exactly where he was going because the person who scanned him in knew what seat he was going to or where he was going to go sit or whatever. Within seconds of him sitting down, sheriffs were already on him asking him who he was. Now, this guy had a record with the ISD for Texas City. He wasn't allowed on any sort of property that is owned by that ISD. So
I mean, that's a
they
good thing,
immediately
though.
removed him. Yeah, it was a good thing. But at what point do we have to draw the line for companies using this to...
But wasn't
to
he
use
there
it for on their...
Wasn't he there to visit his sister's graduation though?
Yeah,
What is-
that's exactly why he was there, for his sister's graduation. Because he wasn't allowed to be on any ISD property.
so he couldn't watch it then. And they,
Yeah, the family wasn't happy about it.
I mean, I see the good in him. I mean, they're keeping a criminal away from he has a record in facial recognition. I understand, but I get it. This privilege is lost when it comes to shit like that.
Yeah.
I guess since it was his sister graduation, the only thing I could say is I wish the officers probably would have stationed with him so that he could at least watch that and then take it away. I know that'd be a luxury or whatever. But poor guy just wanted to see his sister graduate. Hadn't been on any of the campuses, and what, he had done it 10 years ago?
Yeah, I don't even know when it was. Like the guy was like in his 20s.
But there's no record of what he did, why he was on.
No, it probably sealed or some shit like that. I mean, I felt bad for the family because he was there to see his sister graduate or do something. But there's already elementary schools who are considering the software to use to prevent like child abusers or whatnot, to prevent them from actually entering the school grounds. And the software and hardware is being introduced over to universities, and universities are turning them down, except for in New York. They're strongly considering it, especially with the shootings that have happened in the past. They're trying to prevent the next Columbine, which I understand. But at one point, do we have to draw the line where my facial data should not be like up for storing of anywhere?
Oh, so that's what you're afraid of.
Yeah, that's my fear. That someone will use and abuse it, especially in the terms of
How would they abuse your facial recognition?
they'd be able to like generate a mask to be able to actually do something like that. I know it's like really far advanced, like science fiction-y.
Charlie's Angel shit.
Yeah. But
Mission Impossible.
all of that shit will lead to, someone falsifying your identity somewhere down the line.
I feel kind of saddened that we have this new breaking technology here almost every day, and immediately we're thinking, how can this be used against us, or how can this be used negatively? I don't know. It's just unfortunate to see, like, we were making so much advancements, and yet one of the first things we think is, like, how is this going to hurt us, and what way can it hurt us, or some shit like that.
Like Ethan was saying earlier, that Chicago just got all of Jesse Smollett's data to use against his case. Yeah, like where's that line there? Like, how can they just go in and request it and it be given to them to be used in a case, so they can take anything and like nitpick as to what you were searching for?
So then those facial recognition software that these schools are having, since they're public schools, then the government can possibly, like it's state government, and then it will go to like federal government. They can have access to that facial recognition.
Yeah, any three-letter organization could use it maliciously.
Well, they already have our phones anyway. So
I was going to say, the government already has our pictures. It's on our driver's license. It's on our passports.
Sure.
We're already cataloged.
this is where this person lives.
I don't know. I see it as a good thing in, like, especially schools and government buildings or, anything like that. I don't know so much as far as shopping centers, but I'm sure that would be up to the shopping center. And that's the one where I'm worried about, because their CTV then would be privatized.
No, but it's interesting how we're kind of focused on how it can be used, how like the schools can use this for good purposes and such. But it's also interesting how they can sometimes not use any evidence or any type of like software or video. What I'm talking about is that, did you hear about this man who is suing Columbia University for $25 million?
Damn.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
What did they do to him?
So back in 2017, he was accused of sexually harassing a classmate of his, and he has audio recording, 30 minutes, that can prove that that's not the case. But the thing is, though, like, there's 30 minutes of him denying. I mean, there was touching, there was kissing, according to like what the school investigated. But according to his audio, there was no actual, sexual intercourse. He kept saying no, she was too drunk. She kept trying to like get him back. It was 30 minutes of this, and finally he leaves. Immediately after, she tells her friend that he tried to sexually assault her, calls her boyfriend, says the same thing. And what I find funny is that his first response to that was, "How drunk are you?" And that just kind of shows you like how the beginning of this story, what you're about to hear, because it just gets crazier.
So why is he suing them? Did they falsify charges against him because of this?
They would not allow him to use his evidence, the audio evidence, at all, because she accused him first under the Statute 9. And because she was the first one to make the accusation, they're not going to listen to the one that she's accusing sexually assaulted her. And he has audio proof of being a different case, 700 pictures of what happened at that party, giving a medical advice of like how drunk she would have been at that stage. And the school would not allow him to present that evidence, and if he did, they would kick him out of the hearing and proceed without him.
Why?
If the hearing's about him, why the fuck would they kick him out?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's why he's suing them. There was no back and forth. And like when she was on the stand, because the school was investigating first. She didn't go to the police or seek medical help. She just went straight to administration and told them, "Hey, I almost got sexually assaulted, and all this stuff happened."
And see, that's weird.
I almost got like. What do you want me to do about almost?
Well, she's telling them that she was.
Yeah.
Well, there was like physical touch, sexually assaulted, but like there's difference between intercourse and non-intercourse. There's like digital intercourse or something like that. It was called
Digital
What the
intercourse.
fuck is digital intercourse?
That's what it said on the.
Sexting
you can look on the
without
website.
touching?
It was. I got an OP in the description.
I don't know. That just sounds like that sounds like a bunch of kids arguing.
It's sad because there's this girl making false accusations. She lands this guy in jail to where he's having, or did he go to jail, or either way he gets charged and going away scot-free or whatever. When there are so many women who are afraid to come forward, she just makes victims look bad.
Well, this wasn't
Yes,
a
she
police
does.
case. This was she didn't go to the police. This was a school. They didn't listen to him at all. They just denied anything. Like they didn't listen to him or ask him any questions
I hope
to counter to the evidence that he had. They had.
so. See, this is where people need to hear stories like this and say, "I'm not going to send my kid to that school anymore," and that guy needs to change schools and just.
So, what was he hearing about? Was that to kick him out of school?
That was to prove if there was actual assault happened, if an actual assault happened, and because they didn't use any of his evidence, because he only had 7 minutes to really say anything on his side, and they didn't ask him the questions to help him like on his side of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
There was no case. They found him guilty of sexual digital intercourse, something like that.
So they found him guilty, but what did they do to him?
And they expelled him and also revoked his degree.
Oh, fuck that. No.
They kept
it-
They
I'd
kept his
say
degree.
too.
Yeah.
So he's he's suing the school for defamation of character.
Yes.
Wouldn't that also
Oh, no.
count as slander?
Yeah. So for the girl, that just kind of seems, why not go to the police? Like, what do you gain from expelling this guy from school? I get it. If you were a real predator, then
Well, he's about to ruin her life because then no one's going to believe her.
And it's the first time a case was ever like all the men who have ever fought against like a case like Section 9 accusations, they've always used John Doe. He's the first one to actually use his actual name because he's like believes like there's fucking evidence. I have it here, and they did not want to listen. And I'm just thinking about all the other cases, like that football player who was in jail because of that a student accused him of raping her for like what 10 years, and then finally she's like, I
made it up.
Yeah, and then she's getting charged for now.
oh she is.
Yeah, they're charging her for
Good.
it now.
Okay, good. Because that was my kind of topic. I want to see like, do you really think, or do you believe people who cry wolf like that
Just because a
are found like they're lying should be given jail time?
Yes.
just because a male character can do it doesn't mean that all men will do it. Does that make sense?
And that whole stereotype of like, how can a man get sexually assaulted? Like, well, how can like,
Bullshit.
that doesn't happen? He will like it anyway. I mean, wasn't there a
That's
kid
so
in high school
fucked.
that got like drugged and shit in our high school, Ethan?
No, they didn't go to high school with us.
Oh, they didn't go to high school with us.
No,
Oh, okay.
They go to a different high school.
I don't know where they went to high school.
Obviously, wasn't high school with you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I
So they
just
must have went
said.
to another high school.
No, they were just like a friend of a friend.
What did you say yesterday? Hashtag believe all women.
The Believe All Women, the Me Too movement. Believe all women. That's their motto.
Yeah.
Believe all women.
I don't think it should be believe all women. I think it should be believe all victims.
But anyone can come
But
across
then
as a victim.
that doesn't come across as the Me Too because it's
Well, she's coming across as the victim, or in the case against Ben Feibleman, the woman who was accusing of him, Jane Doe, is the victim in this case, technically, because they found him guilty, and the school administration found him guilty, so they kicked him out and they kept his degree.
I think
Technically, she's the victim here, so I don't really want to go with like believe all
she's-
victims. the
she's
same
not
as
a victim.
Believe all women.
But wouldn't he be the victim since
Yeah.
he didn't do it
Well,
and
it's
he
not-
has evidence to support that?
That's his point of view. Her point of view is that she's the victim, and they're choosing to believe the woman over the man because you got to believe all women.
it's like in divorce cases, the mother always wins. Kind of the same concept. I'm with Kielyn though. I think that he's the victim in this instance because
I mean,
she's
he is.
lying.
I mean,
saying
like
that
legal terms, I guess,
Yeah.
even, or.
Well, she's lying about them sleeping together because they never did. She approached him while in a drunken state, and he denied her at every point.
I mean, that's our assumption of it, but he technically is found.
I mean, if he has the evidence, they should have fucking heard it out.
Well, that's why he's suing them. So it's now like going to be seen by a judge that was actually appointed by Obama. I forgot her name, but yeah, she's gonna be seeing it to see if this case is gonna be taken or thrown out. And if it's thrown out, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
I hope
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
thrown out.
I don't usually lose my mind over stuff like that, but this in particular is just. I mean, really? Come on. There's actual victims here, and they're afraid to say shit because people like this woman, Jane Doe over here, who didn't get what she wanted decided to fuck with this guy's life.
Yeah, that's so cool.
In my assumption of what I read on the articles.
She didn't totally ruin his life, though. She didn't send him to jail, and they only took away his degree. He could go to another college and get another degree. Yes, it's going to be a lot more hours, and it's going to be a lot more money, but I mean, it's not like his life is literally totally ruined.
Well, when you worked your life to get that degree.
Yeah, and well, in a way she did, because now let's just say that he went into a career path or a degree
Journalism.
path. Journalism?
Mm-hmm. He's a pussy.
He wanted to be a journalist, or he wanted to do something with journalism. Maybe he did journalism as a way to get into writing so he could be an author. Now, every single time people see his name, it's not going to help him or his reputation, because he's going to have this past with him. He no longer has this degree. He probably won't be able to get financial aid again for a few years.
Yeah, but in 10 years, people outside of that university probably aren't going to recognize his name, probably aren't going to know who he is.
But so now he has to redo school again because one person decided to accuse him.
At least he has the chance to do school again.
So
that's true.
But,
I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying, if it was a real assault, she should have gone to the police where he could have gotten real jail time.
Well,
I'm just saying she didn't totally ruin his life. If that's what her means her to do, was to ruin his life.
It's like petty revenge.
It's an annoying setback. It's stupid. As I said, it's a lot of wasted money. It's a lot of wasted hours.
I'm just wondering if there's like some sort of record now that he's like the school administration found him guilty of all that. It will follow him if he tries to apply to different schools.
It probably will. He won't be able to use any of the credits there, and then he's gonna have to retake all those.
So if you're expelled, all your credits there are fucking null and void now.
Yeah, you can't use them. You have to rebuild.
God damn.
You have to go back.
Started at a community college. They'll take anybody.
You know what I like? Coffee tacos and supporting small creators.
Check us out at www.officialmillennials.com.
Who types www anymore?
It's dubs now.
Go to officialmillennials.com.
Yeah.
Check out our Patreon.
Google search official millennials.
No, don't use Google. Use Bing.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Hey, you get Microsoft points.
Dude, I'll admit it. I'm lazy when it comes to typing web addresses. So I just type in the search bar, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and then I'll go and click it from the Google search.
Yeah.
Dope.
I'm
Use
so lazy.
DuckDuckGo. Not an official sponsor.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch us 9 a.m. on Fridays.
Bye.
Or 9 a.m. on wait, do we do Mondays? I thought we come on Mondays too.
Bonus is bonus episodes.
Oh, I see.
Check out our bonuses. You heard and Circle of Jerks.
Yeah.
Don't forget to get out and vote.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten my funny meme
Register to vote, I should say.
Register to vote.
Yeah, that's coming up. I should probably learn about some local politics.
I just mailed in Norma's and my voter registration.
I've never mailed in the card, but I always just show up and they let me vote.
Yeah.
I just bring the card with me. I just keep it.
Because somehow, somewhere, I've registered.
That's right, guys. For your local governments here in San Antonio, is it? Norma wants to remind you that go and register to vote. Deadline is February 2nd, or is it?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, don't forget to go register to vote.
Hey, guys, don't forget to register to vote, okay?
Hey, guys, do not forget to register to vote.
Marco gets to go twice.
Register to vote, or I will be very disappointed in you.
Bye!
See ya.